What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls Podcast. Coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck, Big Dave, bam! BAWL Sports, Will the Go Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb, our pal and producer on the controls, the one and only Young Spathis at Joey Spathis.
What?
Who?
Joey, what is a wonder pigeon?
That is Gary Blackwell's name on Twitter.
Okay.
The Wonder Pigeon.
Wonder Pigeon.
Yeah, he said, thank you, Wonder Pigeon. I was like, what's going on
He
here?
is the
like
Wonder
that.
Pigeon.
Okay, all right.
Don't know
Hope
what
everybody
it
had a
is.
great weekend despite that Bears outcome. I'm still trying to shake that off.
Oh, man, I know you had a
Gross.
Sunday, man.
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
have your loved ones
And I
seen
couldn't
you?
even stress drink through the 3-hour game because after it was over, I had to go to my lady's nephew's birthday party.
Ooh, you already getting roped?
I had to
into
show
these
up sober.
things? Oh, man. What? No. That's a choice.
I began drinking heavily once I got
okay,
there
all right.
to
We're
drink
good.
the pain away. But
What is the basketball equivalent of 4th and goal from the 1
Uh-huh.
and you lose 12 yards on the play?
Charles Smith trying to get the ball in the hoop when the
Ooh.
Bulls-Knicks playoff game.
Felicio forgetting he's supposed to be on the court.
Oh, God.
Fourth and goal from the 1, and you lose 12 yards on the play is the
And
fast
4 out
break.
of your 6 offensive linemen
Fast
end up on
break.
their butts.
Torrey Craig, Andre Drummond, alley-oop.
Yes.
But not only
Correct.
do they botch it, they are called for some sort of violation, and
then
the other
Andre
team is
Drummond
awarded
sprains
free
his ankle
throws.
on
Correct.
That's pretty close. We've got a lot of stuff to get to today. Bulls news. Shout out and thanks to our guy Darnell Mayberry from The Athletic, who dropped a juicy column earlier this morning. We will talk about all that, updates on Zach, his frame of mind coming into training camp. Patrick Williams, a setback in minicamp activities. Does not sound great. And also, hey, shout out, apparently, via Shams just now, Derrick Rose waived by the Memphis Grizzlies free agent.
Yeah, man.
But we have to start with some news of our own here at CHGO Bulls. In case, for those of you in our listening and viewing audience who aren't on Twitter, because it's a cesspool of mostly terrible people, good decision by you. Or you just haven't checked Twitter yet today, we have some news. Young Spathis, would you like to take the mic?
Yeah, I will take the mic here.
Do you want to get in front of the camera for this?
No, I think it would actually be appropriate that I stay in my
I was
normal
thinking the
spot
same thing.
Good call.
Yeah.
Good call.
as I have been.
You just want to give you some
But I
shout-outs.
wanted
Pretty
to say,
sure there's a producer-facing camera over there at some point. Law loves to use that.
He only puts it on by mistake.
do you want me? Do you want me? Yeah, that is.
That's the only time
By
Joey
the
puts
way,
it on. It's when
that's
he's
very
not
true.
supposed to.
That is incredibly accurate. Well, Peck, thank you. My announcement is that, unfortunately, it is my last few days here as a part of CHGO and as a part of the CHGO Bulls show. My last day is going to be Wednesday. My last show is going to be Wednesday. I'm sure that we will get in. I'm sure there will be some emotions in the days to come. And
This guy.
what I want to just say now is anybody, I think if you've known me or you've listened, I hope you could really understand the sincerity that I have meant when I say things like how much this team, these guys in front of the camera mean to me, and then how much all you guys in the chat, all the Joeys, your guys' support of me as just a totally random guy behind the screen and making me part of things and have breathed confidence into me. And it means a lot to me as a young man, just beyond the show, just in life. So I have so much appreciation to everybody in this community. The decision was not an easy one. I'll obviously miss doing the show more than I could explain to you guys, and more than I could explain to you guys in the chat. But I'm moving on to do something outside of sports media, something that is going to scratch another itch for me professionally as I continue to move forward in my career. And I'll still be in Chicago. I'll still be, hopefully coming around the studio now and again and coming to tailgates and stuff like that. And, and you know, being a friendly face and coming to meetups and stuff like that. But my last couple days on the show, and I truly have, I am one of the luckiest guys in the world, luckiest young men. This has been a dream come true in so many ways. And I'm can't tell you how grateful I am, how many amazing memories I have. And I will always look back on this with just immense gratitude and happiness. So much love.
People in the chat said, what did I just join in on? And Julia says, oh no, leave troll Joey. Oh man. Also, Easy has already declared Wednesday will be Joey Spathis Day.
Oh yeah.
He said, fellow Bulls fans, give him a shout out, send your pics, your stories, and your favorite Joey moments. That's on Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Be here with all that stuff. It's going to be a day, because this guy right here, ladies and gentlemen.
The hat bomb ready, Joe. I think my grief just went from denial to anger.
Oh, man. That's not hard.
I was stuck on denial a long time.
Yeah. It's getting real.
But now our whole audience knows I can't hide it anymore. I've been stewing for like what has been a week? More than a week?
About a little bit, a week and a half or so.
Crying myself to sleep every night. So obviously we're all very happy for you, Joe, and very proud of you and excited for the new venture. Yeah. But we're allowed to simultaneously be devastated because we have an incredible production crew here at CHGO. I'm sure, you know, whoever, whether it be an individual or collectively, fills in the gaps and you know, does the bulk of our production work moving forward, we'll do a tremendous job. And we look forward to figuring out who that is and building something with them.
And making it tough for them in the beginning.
Oh, sure. Because whoever they are, they will not be able to replace the one and only young Joey Spathis.
We're going to be fair. We're going to put him through
on
things.
CHGO Bulls.
Yeah, we're going to mess with him. Don't worry. We did it to Joey. So, you know, yeah, we're doing it to you too. It's going to happen.
Seriously, thank you guys. And these guys are the best. I don't want to go on for but you guys have let me become a part of the show in a really special way. And the guys in the chat have always encouraged that and made me, in the same way made me a part of the show. And so just thank you guys, because it's been really one of the most fun experiences that I've ever had, and love you all.
Love you too, Joe. Appreciate you, sir. Appreciate you very much. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna get it together.
Can we cancel the rest of the show? I'm done.
Anything we know he's emotional. You know, I'm chilling.
I mean, I'll probably have more to say on Wednesday if we really send him off. But Joey's the best. He knows it. He knows how we feel about him, and we're obviously super happy for you. But it's gonna be a big change.
Yeah, you stink for leaving.
yes, Dave, get on board. I'm still plotting something. I don't know if it's like a kidnapping, a hostage situation.
You're never gonna see baby Joey again.
I'm not letting him leave. I still haven't worked out all the logistics and details.
Yeah, but
when we finish our Wednesday show, he ain't leaving.
Okay. See, this is when I get away from that. He's like, yeah, let the hate flow, Dave, and let's kidnap her. Whoa. Whoa, man.
It doesn't need to be a violent kidnapping. Just like a regular kidnapping.
What's a regular?
The movie Saving Silverman, you guys, we could hang out.
And just be a Neil Diamond impersonator?
Yes.
Well, I won't be able to do the show.
Hang out with Jack Black and Steve Zahn.
Singing Sweet Caroline out there in the back of the van. That's what we going to do? Okay. Look at Julia saying, get the van ready.
That's right.
Now, Joey don't get a van. He definitely gets the jet.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nicer than the White Sox team playing for sure.
The who? I'm sorry. It's not your fault, players. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
No, get them a nicer plane.
Yeah, man.
Those athletes work hard.
Let's get this 121 popping, baby. Let's get this 121 going on.
All right, guys.
This is water.
So yeah, we can circle back and have Joey Day on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And relish all the memories. But for now, we do have some interesting stuff to get to. From our guy Darnell from The Athletic that dropped earlier today. Some stuff that I think is pretty new and some of it's surprising in his column. In case you missed it, let's start with the Zack LaVine stuff. He said if there's a supposed fractured relationship between the Bulls and Zach that needs to be repaired, two sides are heading in the season with momentum on their side. And then a little bit later on saying the legitimate questions of how LaVine fits on a team with young talent emerging. But in offseason conversations with Bulls leadership, including Coach Billy Donovan, LaVine has vowed not to overstep or stunt the development of younger players, according to a team source. He also mentioned in this column that Zach LaVine, while he was not hanging out showing support at summer league games with some of his other teammates, he has been at their voluntary, like, player organized minicamp that took place down in Miami a few weeks ago, and some of their voluntary, unofficial, like, minicamp stuff at the Advocate Center in recent weeks. So it sounds like, according to Darnell's sources, Zach LaVine is buying in and being a quote unquote team player, at least coming into the first part of the season, Will.
Yeah, and look, I mean, what else are these sides supposed to say? Like, I think, again, we've reached this point where it's like, this is the reality of the situation. You got to live with it. You got to make it work best you can. And it's not ideal for either side, but like, this is how it's going to be. So, I mean, it's definitely better than like the last report that we heard, which we talked about with Fred the other day. It was like, you know, there seemed to be like more tension, or more, you know, like the source that Jamal talked to in that story, it seemed like there was kind of more frustration or something kind of directed at Zach. And I think now they're at a point where this is kind of what it's going to have to be. But yeah, if I'm Zach, it's just like, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean for the actual basketball of it? I think they're in a position now where they kind of have to just say the best thing that they know how to say and then like let the basketball do the talking. But it's like, was he going to say like, no, I'm not going to be a good teammate. I'm going to just shoot the ball 40 times a game.
Yeah.
Like this is, I think, what Zach has to do. It's an unfortunate situation for him, and it's unfortunate for the Bulls too, because I think both sides just are ready to move on, but this is kind of how it is. So they've got to come to an agreement here of how they're going to move forward. And it seems like both sides, at least based on this report, are saying the right things and trending the right direction.
Yeah, I kind of liked it, Will, a little bit more. One, I like the fact that we found out they were in Miami, actually, with a player-organized camp together. I thought that was really cool.
Player-organized and paid for, because the team's not allowed to pay for it, according to the rules of the NBA.
So the veterans took care of that payment. So I love that. You know what I mean? I thought that was cool. Go to Miami. Yes, that's better than going to Nashville or staying here right now with this weather. Let's go to Miami, South Beach, wherever you want to go. You know what I mean? I thought that was really cool of the players to do that. But I like the language. Well, it was certain words in here that I just picked up, like words like vowed. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's overkill. You know what I mean? That's over-delivering right there. Because
Zach LaVine has taken a blood oath to support the Bulls' youth movement.
My finger. And this shit Billy out of his head. Like, for me, that felt like an overkill that I kind of liked. And it was just like, it was more than saying, yeah, of course I'm going to be there for the guys. You know, I want to be a good teammate. It was more like, no, dude, I'm in. All right. I no matter what, I'm in on this crap right here of what we're doing.
This crap.
You know what I mean? That's how he's on, man. He's with it. And I like that coming from him. And I'm sure a lot of that was reality setting in on him in this offseason. Like, dude, you couldn't get traded. You know what I'm saying? Dude, no team really wants you right now. Like, you got this big old contract and you kind of got to dance with the girl that brung you right now. So you better learn how to dance. You know what I'm saying? And this sounds like he is determined to learn the foxtrot. And I'm okay with that. And I like the fact that he has this and then putting his money where his mouth is, because I know he was the one that had a lot of money, you know what I'm saying, to do with this in Miami. So yeah. I like hearing these words from him. I like this being said. I love the fact him and Billy Donovan were talking in LA, and now action is being put towards it as well. So again, this is why I'm excited to watch the preseason. A lot of stuff is about to be answered when that happens.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
I just love, by the way, Dave, that you're really picking up where DeMar left off with the analogies. Those have been on point recently.
I thought it was interesting that Darnell specifically included Billy Donovan's name in that comment about Zach LaVine and vowing to XYZ.
Yeah.
We can pick up this Zach LaVine conversation on the other side of this quick break. Plus, we got to get to this Patrick Williams update that I am already like boiling over with worry about. That's next on CHGO Bulls.
That brung you.
Today's show brought to you by our friends at Circus Sportsbook. Football's back, y'all. Whether it's pro or college, the app to bet football is Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. It has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. Real people customer service. Human beings customer service. Not that AI chatbot crap that everyone's using these days. Humanity is doomed, but we will not give up. Thanks to people who are fighting the good fight like Circa. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Spreads, props, futures, or in-games. You name it, Circa has it all. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 and over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Make sure you hit our guy, Ray CDJR, ladies and gentlemen. Before you hit the road this fall, head to Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram and start your adventure right there. This September, shop new lower prices across their huge inventory during the Jeep Adventure Days that is going on right now. For a limited time, lease the new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo for just $239 a month for 27 months, or shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. Let the amazing team at Ray CDJR help you during each step of your car shopping journey, because with the Ray's Price Promise, the numbers you're hearing right now are the same ones you can expect to shop in-store and online. That's because the Ray's Price Promise means no price changing, no add-ons, and no hidden fees ever. Since they prioritize affordability for their customers, hurry into Ray CDJR today and shop one of Chicago's area's largest inventories. Then drive home with more money in your hip pocket than you'd expect. Ooh, that rhymed. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out our team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram, because they are the only team that we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com, serving the community since 1963.
Okay, so continuing on our conversation with Zach, Darnell, in that quote that we read earlier, in offseason conversations with Bulls leadership, including Coach Billy Donovan, LaVine's vowed not to overstep or stunt the development of the younger players. I'm just making a guess here. I don't know who Darnell's source is, but Darnell's source could be Billy Donovan.
Could be.
Because, you mentioned the thing about earlier this offseason, Dave, Billy heading out to the West Coast to pay LaVine a visit. We've heard multiple reports from multiple outlets over the last year or so that Billy Donovan and Zack LaVine have had I guess you could call it fractured or splintered relationship that goes back years. And according to some, at least, is still based on Zack LaVine benching him that one time when he was Billy, benching Zach when he was having a night where he played like dog shit.
14.
So look, if that is in fact the reason why that they still have this lingering friction and relationship problem, like that to me would be a concern for the entire team coming into training camp, when the situation is, as you put, Will, like everyone kind of knows what this is, wants to be traded, needs to be traded. The team can't find a trade for him. Everyone here is still stuck in this uncomfortable position. And so if it's a disgruntled star who hasn't gotten the trade he wants, still not getting along with the head coach, like that's not a great way to come into training camp. So it sounds like both sides have been making efforts and strides to come at least a little bit closer together so as to not disrupt the other goals at hand in training camp and moving forward.
And it's like you got to earn yourself some good PR here too, because so much of what the reason why there's like a struggle around trading Zach is like teams don't want him because they think he's like not a winning player, because he's injury prone, because he's making too much money. And now he's also like giving the team problems or whatever. Like, I'm not saying that's what's happening, but that's what it seems the perception of him is. And so I think it does, make sense for him to try to like build towards that. And again, I'm curious what that actually means. Like it's nice to say the right things, and I'm glad we are actually hearing that, because in the past that has not been the case.
Sure.
But it's all well and good to say this stuff. I'm just curious how it actually plays out, because does that mean he's going to like not play 30 plus minutes a night?
Right.
Does that mean he's going to just go run to the corner and not be involved in the offense? Does it mean that he's going to like just become a defensive, like I just have no idea what that actually means. And especially when you're trying to incorporate, it's not like he's just coming back into the same team with DeMar and with Vooch and with Coby, who's now emerged. Like the team is different. So I'm just very curious to see kind of how it actually plays out. But I think it's just, this is the situation, and it is on both sides to try to come together here and make something work. Because again, the only way out of this is if Zach starts to look good, play good, be like a team player, be a winning player, do all these things that supposedly he was never able to do. That's how he gets himself a trade. And yeah, I think both sides are aware of that.
That's fair. That's super fair, because the only thing you have to go on is what was actually put on tape. And when Zach was asked to take a secondary role, we saw how he responded, and it wasn't great how he responded.
I think part of that was just that, like, it was weird for him. Like, he's just never done that before. I don't think he was like, I think some people made
but he didn't do it well.
Points up. Yeah, I'm not saying he did it well, but I don't think it was like, I'm being pouty, so I'm just going to go run to the corner and like, you know, be passive aggressive and not be involved. I think it was just like, I don't really know how to fit into this because this is different than the role I've played for the previous 8-10 years of my career. So I don't want to like put blame on Zach for that. I think it's more just like a challenge and not like a, you know, emotional struggle. Sure.
I feel that. I'm going to put a little on him.
Okay.
Because I just didn't like how he handled it. That's all. And change comes for all of us. Joey's leaving. No, y'all gonna like that at all. But we're gonna adapt. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna adapt to it. Now Matt might go pout. You know what I'm saying? He might run to the corner and not pass the ball and throw a lot of hats and things like that.
You know, pouting is one of my favorite activities.
It is, and you do it so well, Matt. You do it so well. But yeah, I just feel like he just didn't handle it great. And you're right. It was brand new to him. He was asked to do something he's never been asked to do since he's been here. You know what I'm saying? It was like, we kind of need you to pull back a little bit because this team is having a little more success, you know what I'm saying, without you. And you're right. How would you know how to do that when you've never been asked to do something like that? But I just feel like he could have handled it just a little bit better, a little bit better. But I think I think that's good for him to go through those kind of things and experience that, and then forces himself to look at himself and say, oh, man, okay, I need to focus on this because how I handled it and how I did it, no matter how it may have been, how I felt I did it, it didn't come across to anybody who was looking at that right. Because, again, nobody wants to make a trade for me right now.
Yeah.
And maybe that stuff kind of played into it. I don't know if it did or not, or maybe it did. Maybe it didn't. I have no clue. But I know he's here, and teams are not willing to trade for him because of that contract right now. So he has to make do with what's going on right now. I love the fact he's saying, I'm vowing to do it. He's making attempts right now, paying for trips out to Miami. He's been showing, they said he was showing up to those offseason activities, like you said, outside of Summer League, where I thought he was there, but it was Bizarro, Zach, and Chris Durante. But yeah, man, so I like hearing this from Zach, and I'm seeing it in action as well. So I'm interested to see, Media Day, Zach. He's always great at Media Day. Got the blings in his ears that just blind you. It looks amazing. So, and I'm interested to see training camp, Zach. I'm interested to see preseason, Zach, because this is a new offense and a new everything pretty much for the Bulls. So we're gonna get a new Zack LaVine, and I'm interested to see what version of that is.
And just one more thing, I think, if you look at the example of Russell Westbrook and the way that his career arc played out, where it was he was the MVP of the league. He had 35-40% usage rate, 30, 10, and 10. Just absolutely monster stats, needed the ball in his hands at all times. And then once he lost a step athletically, he really had to change who he was. And because he was never a guy that was a spot-up shooter, and now all of a sudden he's not good enough to have the ball like that, he's got to be a spot-up shooter. And that never happened. And so the comparison to Zach there is I think he's going to have to kind of change who he is to adjust to that. Not necessarily because, he lost a step or because he's not good enough, but because that's what the team is asking him to do. And just because Zach has the skill to theoretically be a good spot-up shooter in the corner doesn't mean that that's what he's most comfortable doing or that's what he wants to do or that's what he thinks he should be. And so I think that is more of the issue. And I think because he has that skill, clearly good enough as a catch-and-shoot player, clearly good enough to catch the ball in reversal passes and attack closeouts and make plays. I think he could be really successful in that role. Yeah. And I think that's what the league, the Bulls, and other teams are hoping to see from him, because that's the version of him who I think will be most successful on a contending team if he gets traded there. So I think this could be really good for Zach. They have to come to terms with it the right way, and it seems like they are, but I think it's going to be a challenge regardless, just because although he has the skill to really thrive in that role, it's never who he has been. And I think that can be the complicating factor.
That is a great point because he's got to prove to these other teams that he doesn't need to be that number one and number two guy. He could be a number three on your team, man, and still be successful.
We've always known Zach, in theory, could be a great role player.
Sure.
Which is strange because he would be a 3 on a really good team.
Sure.
On this team, he'd probably be worthy of still being the number 1.
Sure, absolutely.
People in the comments are kind of talking about Zach's leadership and how that might be a factor coming into this. Andrew saying, do you think maybe Zach learned about team building and investing in the young guys from DeMar and is trying to step into that role? It always seemed like Zach had envy over more than just clutch shots. I think he might see the chance to be the leader. Drewish saying, so nice of Zachary Wackery. Ooh, little flex on Zachary Attackery. To not get in the way of the younger players. He should have been doing it and saying all of it from the get-go. DeMar gave him a masterclass on what being a leader looks like.
But I don't think Zach ever was saying the opposite. It was more
right.
Well, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just that's essentially what I was going to say. Like Zach has been the face of the franchise for a while, even when DeMar showed up.
Yes,
but then DeMar was the one hitting all the clutch shots. DeMar was the one leading the team in scoring, and so I think maybe when we were pre-DeMar, wondering is Zach as he's growing into his prime years as a quality NBA player, a borderline star player, can he take on a leadership role? Because we didn't really see or hear much about Zack LaVine, leader of the team, before DeMar showed up. DeMar shows up, they start winning, and then everybody, all they talk about is, well, it's a power struggle. Is it Zach's team or is it DeMar's team? Yep. No talk of leadership. Yeah. Last season, Continuity 3.0 started with a players-only meeting after game 1. And reports of that locker room were there was friction, and a lot of it was getting directed at Zack LaVine by other teammates. So when you talk about leadership and talk about what Zach's role is going to be on the court this season, it's, it arouses my curiosity because you were talking about minutes, Will, and I still think, we were talking about this with the C-Red UK guys on their pod the other night, I think the Bulls have to play Zack LaVine 30 minutes a night to prove that he is healthy to the rest of the league and capable of being a quality player who produces for you in a variety of ways for 30 minutes a night.
Yeah.
If a team makes a trade for Zack LaVine, they're not going to trade for him to bring him off the bench.
That's true.
So, yes, Zach's usage, I think, still has to be a Zack LaVine-esque usage. Yeah. Can he do that and be a leader of a team that all know, his teammates, he's trying to get his way out of here, to play his way out of here?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, y'all, let's go storm the Capitol. I'm going to hang back here, but y'all, good job. It's a tricky position to lead from.
Yeah. Oh no.
And by the way, Zach has, going back to his the first year he came to the Bulls when he was recovering from the ACL injury. Aside from that year, he's never played fewer than 34 minutes a game. He's not going to play 30. That would just be absurd. Yeah. And I get that the goals and the direction of the team has changed, but it's not like you can just. I mean, that would be. I think that's the kind of thing that would probably cause problems or cause some frustration on Zach's end. It's like, okay, I'm trying here to adjust my role, to play a little bit more to a certain style and, not be so ball dominant. But now you're asking me to play 6-8 fewer minutes a game too. It's like, I can't prove that I'm, good enough to trade for if I'm not out there playing. And I think that is, Zach can vow that. The Bulls can ask him to vow that. But at the end of the day, that is how it's going to end. And so that still needs to be resolved. And I'm curious to see how that actually works on the court.
Yeah, you're right. Also, by the way, you said Zack LaVine, leader of the team. That rhymed.
Hey, well, Dave's always finding rhymes.
Proud of you.
Dreads in the comments saying maybe Zach is like KD, just not a leader, but a hooper.
That's Kevin Durant, bro.
But people make that point a lot, Dave. Like, hey, KD, he won 2 chips. He went and joined the already super team Warriors to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
that was still Steph's team. It always remained Steph's team. That's why KD left Golden State.
We get it. But he also led the Oklahoma City Thunder to the finals.
This is true. All right, one more quick break. When we come back on the other side, we're talking Patrick Williams and a setback at minicamp here on CHGO Bulls.
Joey with the hand signals. Joey hand signal.
Joey hand signal?
Yeah.
Add it to the list. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. We love Sunnyside. Our friends at Sunnyside are here to help elevate the tail end of your summer and into your fall. They're your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. They have a crazy selection with over 100 different strains to choose from, easy online ordering, and in-store pickup. We live in marvelous times. Wherever you are in Illinois, Sunnyside has a location for you. They have spots as far south as Champaign, all the way up north as far as South Beloit. Stop in the store nearest you for expert guidance from their well-versed and knowledgeable staff. Select from quality lines like Cresco and FloraCal. Check out Good News Tea Time Disposable Vape, bringing classic lemonade flavor that's perfect for the golf course if you're going out there and getting some rounds in still, because we all need a little help staying loose on those greens. Also, be sure to check out the Free Spirit vapes and cartridges, all new from Good News. With lush mango flavor, these vapes are perfect for tapping into your flower power. Stop by sunnyside.shop today to get bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. That's an incredible deal, and you heard it right. 50%, 50, off your first 3 purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to get that 50% discount. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 and over, and Illinois Med card holders.
Got an email from Baby Joey.
Oh, yeah?
He said, Joey, the place you're going to be working now, he actually bought and he owns it now. So you're going to be working for Baby Joey.
Working for the nephew.
He said he likes his coffee with 2 sugars.
Should be an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, should be, man. Should be you. You know, all that sounds like is Joey don't understand.
He doesn't understand.
Never understood. He didn't get it. Why? Why? These glasses cost so much money. They don't get it. Guess what? Shady Rays don't get it either. And so they set out to do something about it. So get ready for the season ahead with quality shades that are built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays has got you covered with those premium polarized shades that will not break the bank. They are an independent sunglasses company offering world-class product. Rate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars for over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames. They got those crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for your outdoor. And as this handsome gentleman over to my right is about to prove, because he put it on indoor. He's always ready. No matter some of them, he's ready. They probably have a style to match your team's color. And they have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. But even if you don't love those shades, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them worry-free within 30 days. No risk when you shop. The team has always got your back. So, exclusive for the listeners out there, Shady Rays giving away their best deal of the season. Head to ShadyRays.com. Use the promo code CHGO. Get yourself 35% off those premium polarized shades. And try for yourself. The shades that are rated 5 stars for over 300,000 people, because the Shady Rays, y'all, with the Rays are oh so shady.
Oh, so damn shady.
Oh,
I'm going to leave these on for a little while so I can cry in secret about Joey. That's why they're perfect for your indoor advenciones.
Yeah, his advenciones will be tears.
Or your indoor depression. Speaking of depression, guys, we got an update on Patrick Williams.
Segue back. In full effect.
In this same Darnell column that was just jam-packed with all sorts of things that made me tear my hair out as a Bulls fan. Let's talk about this specifically. Patrick Williams, who Darnell pointed out, y'all had a chance to catch up with him briefly when we were all out in Vegas for Summer League, and the update then was good. Quote, I'm pretty good, running and jumping now, no pain, no swelling. It's just a matter of getting my legs back under me. That was mid-July. Hear from Darnell. But Patrick Williams experienced discomfort during the team's minicamp in Miami and required additional rest in recent weeks. His availability is the biggest unknown in the short term. Long term, the setback forces one to wonder whether Patrick will be able to assemble a breakout season given his lengthy layoff. Also mentioning he last appeared in a game on January 25th, has not played much 5-on-5 basketball since then. End of Patrick Williams. Update, end of another hat. Guys.
Before.
Go ahead, go.
Before we went on with Fred the other day,
Flex.
He was like, Will, do you think Patrick Williams will be ready for training camp?
I remember that.
I was like, yeah, he's going to be ready. He said he was going to be ready. He said he's feeling fine. The team thinks he's going to be ready. The team has said he's going to be feeling fine. Like, I have no reason to believe otherwise. He's like, you want to bet? And I was like, no.
Yeah, I do remember this, yes.
And I'm glad I didn't make the bet because.
Smart man.
I mean, Patrick, like, we'll see. It sounds like he was ready and he was performing, and then there was some discomfort. We don't know what that really means. We don't know how real this is. It's just a report. It's not anything official from the team. Not to like discredit the reporting at all, but just usually, would get like a real diagnosis from the team if there was something serious here. And we haven't yet. So we're going to be patient, but obviously this is not the way that you want to go into the season.
Yeah.
It's not the way that you want to go into the first year of a 5-year, $90 million contract. And it's not the way that you want to go into kind of a rebuilding project where you're changing direction around the younger players and you want to see what you can get out of Patrick. So to me, this is like, I mean, it's not like disaster worst case scenario because we don't know what it is, but just not a great way to start the season. And you're already, potentially not going to have Lonzo, or we don't know what that's going to be like. Just the injury piece here is obviously you never want to have injuries, but I think especially when you're kind of going into this new direction built around some of your younger players and you just invest $90 million into a young guy that you want to be one of your cornerstones. Yeah, that's not great.
I just thought of a new segment, call it the Matt Peck Dead to Me list. You know how somebody always becomes dead to you during the season?
Many people are dead to me.
I think we should start keeping a list on that. Patrick Williams might be on that list for me, brother. Like, it's getting to that point. And again, this is why I was like, this is the No Excuses Tour trademark. Shout out, Joey. The trademark, because I don't have anything left for that. Like, dude, like all the time, it's always something. Sorry, this is the No Excuses Tour for me. And this, I was like, oh, okay. Well, Matas, guess what? You might be getting the opportunity sooner than you think.
The first leg of the No Excuses Tour has already been postponed or canceled.
We got issues with the stage already.
Or the first foot of the No Excuses Tour has already been canceled.
The microphone, the ticket sales are tripping. Like, man, dude, come on. It's the first leg of the tour. It's crazy. I don't want him to be hurt, obviously. I want him to be healthy and to perform and get out there. It just sucks hearing that, knowing that report we heard that Will just stated, how he stated, no, I'm doing great. I'm feeling good. I'm ready to go. I can't wait to get in there. And I'm sure he meant that. But then hearing that he had a setback on that is just like, dude, that means you're not playing any basketball because that is your foot. You're not doing anything. And like you said, no 5-on-5, nothing. That means no contact, no none of that. We're just working on free throws. And dude, it's just frustrating to hear. And I know he's frustrated. I know he's upset. He wants to get out there and play. I know this for a fact. But damn it, it's the No Excuses Tour, man. You got to find a way this season to do it. And it just doesn't look better, as you just mentioned, when you just signed your 5-year, $90 million contract, and people are questioning if you're as important as Isaac Okoro, who just signed a much lesser deal for you. So it's so much up in the air for this young man. And he's got to come out and perform, dog. But it's the No Excuses Tour. And the background singers didn't show up. You know what I mean? Nothing working right. The bass player quit. Like, man, dog. Come on, dog.
The roadies forgot all the lighting equipment.
All the lights. They late with
all the smoke machines. They got nothing.
Nothing's working right, man. We got to get the tour together because, my God, we got to get this right, dog. We got to get it right.
Speaking of that contract and the comp to Isaac Okoro's OB96 in the comments brought up that exact thing. P. Will, $90 million extension. Okoro, $38 million extension. SMHAKME. P. Will injury is sus, said OB96. Matthews saying, we just need Pat for the last game of the season so he can drop 30. Dredd saying, Paul can't catch a break.
Can't catch a break, bro.
Julia saying, P. Will is full of it. Damn. Rob saying, P. Will injury, no. Why can't we have nice things? How many times have we said or heard that as a Bulls fan? A lot.
I mean, dude, think about this. Think about the guys they put their money into. Which is a Zack LaVine, a Lonzo Ball, and a Patrick Williams. These are all injured. These are dudes who just dealt with devastating injuries. Like, Zach's been hurt, Lonzo stayed hurt, and then Pat has been hurt ever since like his second year in the league. I mean, he played the 82 games, obviously, the season before. But the guys they are giving their big money to can't stay healthy, man. Like, this is stuff I can't put on the front office right here. Like, I can't fault them for that. Like, this is just tough luck right here for them, man, to deal with that.
The Chicago Bulls, have that, like, graphic thing that goes right into the starting lineups of the actual bull animals, stampeding through the streets of Chicago through iconic pieces of Chicago architecture. Mm-hmm. The Chicago Bulls are not the running of the Bulls. The Bulls, injury list for the last 3 years has been people who have been trampled by actual Bulls.
Pretty much.
I mean,
it sucks.
Yeah, it really does.
It sucks, man.
Fish mentioning in the comments that foot injuries can be really tricky, a bad place for an injury.
Yeah.
Drewish asking about who gets his minutes now, just assuming he won't be ready for the season. Woodage84 in the comments saying P. Will getting hurt means the Buzelis era starts early. There's your spin zone.
That's it right there.
Modest minutes.
I like that. Modest minutes. Put him out there, man. Let him play. Good God.
Well, like he should have been playing anyway.
Yeah. No, you're right. Should have been out there anyway.
So to me, I mean, again, this is not like Pat's fault. It's obviously rough news and we don't know how serious it is. But like, to me, discomfort in the foot, which is like where he obviously had the surgery, it's not like he suffered a new injury. So we don't know what that means. Does that mean that he is now going to like have to start doing rehab again? He's going to need to rest, or something went wrong with the surgery. Who knows? Or he's just getting back into shape and he had some discomfort in an area where he was like injured before. So we just don't know. And there's still a month before the season starts. So he's got to get back out there. But,
come on, Pat.
Yeah, obviously they know, Pat knows, Bulls PR knows, coaching staff knows that question. And maybe many questions, follow-up questions about Pat and his health status or lack thereof will now be an emphasis on Media Day.
Yeah.
1 week from today.
Yeah.
Bulls Media Day. We'll be there.
Flex.
Pat, that is a daunting question.
Yeah, bro.
And I don't know if we're going to get much more information on it than what we learned in this column from Darnell earlier this morning, which is there was a setback. He's experiencing discomfort. That's all we know. We're going to take it day by day. Call it day to day, which for the Chicago Bulls often, if not usually, day to day turns into week to week, which turns into
6 to 8 weeks.
4 to 6 months.
Dave, if I remember correctly, you used to call Patrick the Wolverine, right?
Yes.
And that was because he
the quick healing probabilities
quickly from the wrist injury that was supposed to maybe be season ending.
Came back very quick.
Yeah, that was 20-year-old Pat, not 23-year-old Pat.
Are we now
as an aging 25-year-old Joe, you should know that there's a big difference there.
But
young people heal quickly, old people don't.
Is this now like, are we shifting? Is Pat? I don't know. It's definitely concerning. This is my thought is going back to also when they shut him down for the season and how some of that conversation was how serious this injury could potentially be. And now seeing that it's continuing to linger and now, you've had a season and then you pretty much should have had another season that was ended prematurely by injury. So a little bit worried about, his durability going forward.
Definitely a concern, man. Because, we were at the game, the Joe Cano game, when he hurt his wrist. And we just saw him playing pretty good in that game. We were like, Patrick's doing stuff. And then he's gone.
Right.
Immediately. And now dealing with a foot. And just hearing that word, experiencing discomfort.
Right.
I immediately think of Lonzo Ball. That's all I thought about.
We, as Bulls fans, have PTSD when we get vague injury updates.
Yes.
I read the word discomfort in Darnell's column this morning, and I immediately thought, he refractured the fracture that they had surgery to fix.
Right.
It's a small hairline fracture in his foot, but the thing that they tried to heal with the surgery, it's broken again. And I'm not saying that I think that that's the case. I'm saying that's how effed up my Bulls brain works when it comes to injuries.
Agreed.
I assume the worst, because it is proven more often than not over time that it is the worst possible news once we actually find out what the heck is going on.
Yeah, man. See, look at him in the comment. Yup, the first thing that comes to mind is it's how our brains have unfortunately been trained when these things go down. I hope it's just that discomfort. I hope he's ready for minicamp, man, because I want to see him on the floor so bad. And having this opportunity right now without, any of the excuses people were putting up before. Just giving him that opportunity to play and do his thing. He deserves to have it. I want him to have it. I need to see him have it. It just sucks, bro, just hearing that.
And the Bulls need a fresh start.
Yeah,
they just need to be able to move forward. And it's so hard to do that when injuries complicate things. So, again, no one's fault, but just
it's bad luck.
Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of continuity? What do the Bulls need? The one thing that they have been very successfully continue continuity. Injuries. Players with injuries. Continuity. Right up their lane. But speaking of Matas and wanting maybe to get to see him earn more opportunities.
Yes.
If in fact, and again, we don't know, but hypothetically, if Pat is not ready for the start of the season, Buzelis get more minutes. Darnell also had a little tidbit about Buzelis in that column, saying apparently he could play. Word out of minicamp sessions is the 19-year-old is holding his own in team activities. Buzelis has impressed with his passing and ability to attack the rim. Love hearing that. No mention of his ability to shoot the ball. Don't love that.
Details.
Minor details. But even still, knowing that his shot is a work in progress, I feel like with all of the other chaos of this Bulls offseason, trade rumors, DeMar sign trade, Caruso trade, what's been going on with Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
Like, we drafted Matas Buzelis with the number 11 overall pick and are pretty excited about what this kid might be able to do early on in his NBA career.
Yeah.
It's like, you looking for silver linings right now? Buzelis getting minutes? Mm-hmm. There's a silver lining.
You know, and I talked about last year around this time, when training camp comes up, there are certain things I want to hear Will reporting on. And I just want to hear, what Will has to say on it. And for me, it's definitely going to be Matas Buzelis.
How many F-bombs Matas drops in the locker room on the court?
All of that. I want to know all of that.
How many stare downs?
Right. Who did he agitate? Like, who's he going at? You know what I mean? How's the shot looking? How is he vibing with the guys? Like, is he super aggressive like that we have seen him be? Like, I have so many questions, and Will's going to answer all of them, I'm sure, when that training camp comes around, man. But I'm just excited for Matas Buzelis because it's something to get behind after all this kind of news. You know what I mean? You're hearing about the Bulls. You're like, well, I do have this shiny, nice new piece right here, and I want to see it play, and I want to see him go out there and see if he's going to do his thing. But obviously, things to work on. We all know that. But just hearing that kind of report, how he's fitting in with the guys on and off the floor, is really good to hear.
And like, the Bulls are starting over. When you start over and you pick a new direction, the first thing you need to do, and really the only important thing that you need to do as an organization, is find a star player. Mm-hmm. That's, you find the star player, and then you can start with everything else. But it's really difficult when you just keep drafting seventh and you're just getting these role players or high-end starters. That's just not good enough. You need a star. And that's what the Bulls are looking for now. And Matas, he fell to 11. He obviously is a flawed player, but he has some star equity, and they need to explore that. So if Patrick getting hurt is the opportunity that he needs, if him just dominating in these summer camp, minicamp stuff to where he earns a role for himself is what needs to happen, great. But the Bulls need to explore what they have here, because Matas is really one of the only players on the team that could really be, that has like real star potential. Mm-hmm. I think Coby obviously is a great player. I think Zach's obviously a great player.
Sure.
But like, if they need to be looking for the next star player, I think it starts with Matas, and so they have to really see what they've got going here. So any news, I think, is good news with him.
Yes.
And that's really, again, it's got to be a priority.
Speaking of Coby and star potential on this team, brace yourselves, Coby stands, because there was also some Coby stuff in this Darnell piece.
Come on.
And you might not like what you hear.
Come on.
Coby White is expected to remain in the first string this season, sliding between LaVine and the arrival of Josh Giddey at point guard. Mm-hmm. Josh Giddey at point guard. An off-ball role is not the one White coveted. He's long said he views himself as a point guard.
Yes, he has.
The Bulls, as evidenced by the Giddey trade, see it differently. There's belief within Bulls leadership that White operates best without the added dimension of navigating playmaking responsibilities. In other words, despite his improvement over the years at orchestrating the offense, White is free to be a scorer. Now, the last part that Darnell included, free to be a scorer, sounds to me like positive spin from a Bulls coaching staff or executive explaining to Coby that you're not going to be the point guard anymore because Josh Giddey's here and we need to invest in Josh Giddey. That's what that sounds like to me. Hey, you're free to go score. We're also taking the ball away from you.
Yeah, that sucks. Coby has definitely done so much to improve that and becoming a point guard, and knowing like in the league, just a league that's just full of just really good to great point guards. And it feels like you've got to have one on your team. I'm sure that's why Coby, as Jordan would say, took that personally and wanted to become, really great at that. And he really did. Like, for real, if you have time, go back and watch like Coby White highlights. Like, go watch the ones the Bulls just put out. And remind yourself of what that dude was doing this season. Like a bunch of stuff with me and jumping out of our seats, spinning between double teams and laying it in, finding the guy in the corner, with the pass and things like that. So Coby really did a great job of improving as a point guard, as well as allowing his points to go up and be, that kind of scorer that the Bulls need as well. It's not a great feeling when it feels like you're doing all this stuff and the team that you play for is still like, yeah, but it's no. Thank you, but nah. That's still not a cool feeling. And I'm interested to see how that plays out, because Coby takes this stuff personally because he's an athlete. He's a professional. He wants to be the best. And I have no problem with him feeling that way. And I hope he comes in and takes it even more personally and goes at Josh Giddey and attacks him. You know what I mean? That's going to do nothing but sharpen the sword. And I want him to see that happen more so this season than any other season, because this season it could be on him as far as being the best player on the team. I'm just speaking about if Zach, is no longer here.
Right.
So if that's going to be the case, I'm not going to let you put me in some box. I'm not going to let you tell me what my game should be. I'm going to show you what my game is. And that's what Coby has been doing for years, is showing people what he can do and not listening to what they are telling him he is. So I hope he continues to keep growing and takes this personally and comes into training camp with that chip on his shoulder, because the dude balled out last season. There was really nothing there. And the dude you want to replace me with was the dude who got benched. I take that personally too. I would.
That's a tough sell.
I take it personally.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think he should view it that way as a player, but from like a outsider kind of perspective that we're in, I don't think it really matters, because I still think even if you take off the point guard label, which is probably what's going to happen, like he's not going to be technically viewed as the point guard, he's still going to have more usage this year than he is last year.
Sure.
He's still going to have a similar role in terms of the amount of time that he's initiating the offense, because a lot of times DeMar was doing that last year. So I think
Zach LaVine also was out for large stretches when Coby
had
high usage and was thriving and dominating the offense.
But he also played and had high usage when Zach was in the lineup to start the year. So I don't think that just because Giddey is the point guard means that Coby's not going to have the ball. I think he's actually going to have the ball as much or more than last year. It's just going to be slightly different because Giddey is a little bit more one-dimensional in the way that he has to operate on the offensive end. Even DeMar, who is not like known as a shooter, he was a little bit more of a threat off the ball because he's more of a scoring threat than Giddey. And so I think that's the complicating factor, but I don't think this means that the Bulls don't believe in Coby. I think they're just trying to put him in a situation that they think will help him. And I could see why he might take offense to that, because it's like, yeah, you want to be the starting point guard. You want to be the starter. You want to be the all-star. Like, those labels matter. They have value in this league. It's how you get paid. But I don't think that functionally this really changes who Coby is or how the Bulls view him. Now, in 6 months' time, and the Giddey experiment is going how it's going, if Coby's still frustrated with that or whatever, yeah, maybe then you have to do some massaging, or maybe it's time to make a move, retrade Coby, and try to get some assets and really kind of kickstart more of a rebuild. Who knows how that all sorts itself out. But I do think that minus DeMar plus Zach and Giddey, there will be more opportunity, more usage, and more scoring avenues for Coby than last year.
So, I see your logic, essentially saying like, hey, maybe Giddey at times is the one bringing the ball up the floor, but Coby's going to be running around off ball screens to then get himself freed for Giddey to set him up for Coby to then get the ball and go score.
But like at the same point, having I'm the starting point guard label does matter. Like that, I can understand why players would be, territorial about that, or be, prideful about that. That makes total sense. So I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I just think at the same time, functionally, I think he's going to have even more opportunity than last year.
And, especially with the offseason that Coby's had, like obviously he got national attention, nearly won an award, voted on by national NBA media. And, coming into the summer, like, oh, okay, DeMar sign and trade to Sacramento is gone. Everyone knows we're looking for a trade. The Bulls are looking for a trade for Zach LaVine. Maybe Zach is gone. Like, based on the way I played and what we got here, like, I'm going to ride with my fellow young teammates, but like, this is my team now.
Yeah.
This is my team now.
Yeah.
And simultaneously, Alex Caruso out, Josh Giddey in, a player who very much, I think, kind of crashed the offseason party of Coby White being like, yeah, this is my team now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, Coby stepped into a major leadership role with this team last year, and DeMar was still here. So I think those two things can coexist. And I think a lot of times it's very easy to say, this is the point guard. This is like the heliocentric, got the ball on his hands, 35, 40% usage. He's going to be the one that is always dominating the show. Like, if the Bulls want to run offense that way, they are built to fail, because they don't have a guy who's good enough to do that. They have to be a little bit more egalitarian. They have to move the ball more. They have to be more motion-based. If they're going to have any success, their offensive identity needs to change from last year. It's going to be impossible to run the same stuff as last year because you don't have the best player from last year. So I think fundamentally all this stuff is going to change. The way that Coby became a leader last year. The obviously jump that he took in his game, I think that's going to mean, it's going to be different, but there's still going to be more there, I think, for Coby in terms of opportunity and leadership role, that it's once it starts to materialize and the ball is actually, thrown out there and people are able to play basketball, I think that it will become clear very quickly that Coby is still very much like a foundational piece here.
That man said egalitarian and heliocentric.
Yeah.
He was in his bag on that, baby. Come on with it, go. Come on with it.
Real quick, last thing before we get out of here, you mentioning the offensive scheme that they might try and play with. Darnell mentioned that in the column too, Goat, saying, look for them to play more up-tempo offense. Great. Yes, that makes sense with DeMar's departure. Also a twist on the defensive scheme, one that will shift the focus from defending the paint to protecting the three-point line. Looks like, yes, please. Speaking of things the Bulls offense has been failing at recently, if you can't add three-point shooters to your team and you can't teach people on your team to shoot three-pointers more efficiently, at least maybe try and, stop the bleeding on the other end.
Yeah, how
guard
about
the perimeter. Bulls allowing
terrible.
39.5 3-point attempts per game last season. Dead last to the NBA.
I know we've got to shut it down here for today, so maybe we can spend more time on this tomorrow, but I have a lot of thoughts about just how that will work and like the philosophy behind it. And just, again, this team is so different now, even though only really you've got like 2 players out and 1 new player in.
Yeah.
So much of the identity has to change. And obviously a huge piece of that is defense.
Yeah. So shout out again to our friend Darnell Mayberry. Does great work on the beat for the Athletic. Give the column a read if you haven't yet. There's also some Lonzo stuff in there that we didn't get to, but it was like, hey, Lonzo might be healthier than Patrick Williams coming into training camp.
Wild.
Crazy. But also he said he expects the Bulls, Lonzo himself and coaching staff, front office to all like pump the brakes on Bulls fans, maybe optimism about how much we will see Lonzo
as we have
out of the gate.
Yes.
There's playing pickup 5-on-5 in the summertime, and then there's NBA training camp, and NBA games.
I've heard it's different.
Different things.
I've heard it's different.
Also, apparently had a recent bout of COVID. That was a pretty tough one, according to Darnell's column. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay.
Lonzo looking good. Lots of stuff in there. We got to wrap up a little early because we have White Sox on deck for all of you very tortured
history
Bulls / White Sox fans out there. Like this poor bastard. History! Not all history is good.
Let's go.
We will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, with another fresh episode for y'all, 4 p.m. Central Time. Until then, Will to go, Will_Gottlieb, Big Dave Bow, BAWL Sports. Our pound producer on the controls, the one and only Young Spathis at Joey Spathis. Not letting him leave. That's not happening. Not happening. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO Bulls. Thanks for tuning in, Bulls Nation. Hit that like button on your way out. Make sure you subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel and all of our sub channels. 85 with Cole Kmet. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See you. Be good.
Joey Kidnap.